What's up, everybody? Tom here with Tom Coffee Fitness, bringing you all another episode of Fitness in Your Car. And today I want to talk about the topic of should you exercise without eating? More specifically, should you wake up from bed after going 6-8 hours of sleeping without food and jump right into a workout early in the morning? So this is a question I get pretty often is, people like to work out before work. I know a lot of people like to do that. But they ask me the question, like, is it good to work out without eating? Should I eat before I work out? What do I recommend? And I'm going to tell you right now. So working out without eating, you might hear it called fasted cardio or fasted exercise, some manifestation like that, is very dependent on what your goals are. And what I mean is working out after a period of not eating for 3, 4, 8 hours, whatever it is great for helping you burn off body fat, but more specifically like that stubborn body fat, like that hard to burn off body fat, usually around the thighs, the butt for women, like the obliques and maybe the abs for men, like that stubborn fat that I'm talking about. So fasted cardio is really great for burning off body fat more rapidly than non-fasted cardio, but also really getting that stubborn, hard to get body fat and burn that away. But working out without eating is not so great if your goal is to build muscle mass or even increase strength. And I'm going to explain both of these here in just a second. So what happens, so the stomach takes roughly 3 to 6 hours to empty. So that means if you eat food, depending on what type of food you ate, between 3 to 6 hours from that time point, it'll be empty. When you exercise after eating, before that gastric emptying, the emptying of the stomach occurs, then you're not really tapping into the body's fat sources as fuel. You're using the energy you got from the food, more specifically the sugar, to give you that little boost in energy, right? So you burn through those calories, you burn through that energy before you start tapping into the body's stored energy, which is body fat. And that's the reason we store body fat, is to be used for energy in times of starvation or periods when you're going, without eating. When you exercise without eating, you exercise in a fasted state, you've given that 3 to 6 hour window or more. Maybe you wake up and exercise in the morning after sleeping all night. Your stomach's empty. You don't really have those extra calories floating around to draw from and give you that boost of energy. So where do you get the energy from? Stored body fat. That's where it starts to break it down. You get that boost of energy needed to sustain the exercise for the day. Really powerful combination to use fasted exercise with something like high intensity interval training, or even like weight training in a circuit fashion. You're going like moderate weight for higher repetitions, and that's great. It's a great tool to use if your goal is simply to rapidly decrease body fat. I wouldn't use it as the ultimate long-term approach, but for periods of a couple weeks when you just want to sort of accelerate that fat loss, doing high intensity interval training or high intensity weights in a circuit fashion is a great way to start to really accelerate the rates of fat loss. On the flip side though, if your goal is to gain strength or muscle mass, right? Fasted cardio, fasted exercise is definitely not gonna help you and may even be a detriment, because when your goal is to put on muscle mass, you need to convince your body that there's enough food coming in to support laying down new muscle. Putting on muscle is a very metabolically challenging endeavor for the body, so you have to convince it that you have enough food and you're not starving, and that the energy it's going to need to lay and grow and build new muscle is going to be supported by an adequate food intake. So you can't do that when you're working out fasted. The body is all confused and it's just not going to work. So just to recap, fasted exercise is a great way to accelerate fat loss if that's your goal. And the two most effective types of exercise I recommend: high intensity interval training, 10 to 30 minutes of just getting after it, or some sort of weight lifting in a circuit fashion. Like workout complexes are a great idea for this. A complex is basically just taking one piece of equipment and flowing seamlessly from exercise to exercise with minimal rest in between sets. So two really highly effective means of exercising in a fasted state for accelerated fat loss. On the flip side, if your goal is more on the t-shirt bursting muscle gain, you probably definitely don't want to work out without food coming in, because you need to convince your body you have enough calories coming in to lay down muscle tissue and build that t-shirt bursting muscle you're looking for. So this is just a very general overview. To sum it all up, do I think fasted exercise is the end all be all? No, but I like to use it in a short-term strategy for accelerated fat loss for people, to help them get through plateaus and sticking points, and more specifically help burn off that stubborn body fat that I was alluding to earlier, sort of that hard to get, like the last remaining 5 or 10 pounds of body fat you have that just won't melt off. That's a great time to use fasted cardio with the two types of exercise I talked about. If you have any more questions about this, drop them in the comments. I'll reply to every comment that I get, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this. Thank you so much.